alphas TL from a couple years ago, when they were winning titles, they were all about scaling, team fighting, play for late. They actually win most of their games through early game dominance, through creating advantages. When you think of a lot of their best games, you think of Bwipo running over someone on set and things like this. It's not that they don't pick scaling, but the fact that they've taken 0 Elder Dragons, the fact that they have the second fastest game time in the league.
I love this. In interviews yesterday, Abbeddage said, look, my Seraphine, I'll be honest, I kind of hinted it, but if Bjergsen picks Azir against me tomorrow, I'm going to clap that guy. Paraphrase, but that is the intent of what he went for. He's going to
pretty much straight up what he said.
Yeah.
Like, he said, I'm going to clap him.
Like, don't even bother. So Bjergsen brings out the Azir. Abbeddage is back onto the Seraphine, and he says he's going to smash in this one. They clearly like the draft, they like this angle. They've immediately got a Wukong there. What's nice is, like, the mind's eye what this fight looks like. You look at a Nivea pop, you're like, yeah, you put up the wall and you slam into it. It's like Wukong W's and dashes forward. Seraphine goes through the clone, refreshes the distance, hits actual Wukong, and you start an entire team fight.
Yeah.
Like, the synergy is more weird, but still entirely there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really strong. And
I
just think,
Skarner, let's go!
Representing Captain Flyers there. I wonder, is this Senna Wukong bot lane? It actually might be, because Senna Wukong bot lane is a really strong duo there. And this is one of the better Senna pairings, so that could be really, really interesting. I also just love the confidence from Bjergsen, the fact that, we saw this counterpick, this Seraphine counterpick yesterday. Abbeddage says, I'm going to clap him if he picks it. And then he's like, first pick. Yeah. Like, no fear, not concerned about Abbeddage at all. That's why he's the GOAT. So, you got to love the confidence, man. You got to believe in yourself to really be able to be at the top. Sign Diva. Mustache Diva.
But here's the thing, though. Team Liquid are 4-0 with mustaches.
Ooh.
Like, they are undefeated. This new iteration of Team Liquid is undefeated in the LCS.
There you go. The stats don't lie.
They don't.
But Santorin bringing it out. Skarner again showed off the butt twist the other day. It was actually pretty cool. I think that's the first time I've seen it in pro play, that someone actually used it. It didn't get them a kill, but it did, showcase the power of that. And it's going to be a really, really interesting one. Now targeting Bwipo up there in the top lane. The GP ban, I think that's maybe Bwipo's best champion. Olaf, one of the Bwipo specials, going to be knocking down his champion pool somewhat. It is interesting that even with the fact that they're fifth picking for Ssumday, they still are giving these target bans up towards top side. So, not necessarily confident that even if they were blinded, that he would have an answer.
I want to leave up the opportunity for triple flex right now. So Seraphine, Wukong, and Taliyah could all be legitimately farming bot lane. Taliyah and Wukong could both be junglers.
I'm willing to bet.
Taliyah, Seraphine could both be mid.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
I think it's Seraphine farm bot, Wukong jungle, Taliyah mid. That's the expectation here. But or it was just
it would be some really interesting mind games if Abbeddage did the interview knowing that he wasn't actually going to play the Seraphine. Like, that would be hilarious.
We had Amumu yesterday. I don't know if Amumu super lines up in this game right here. Not you're not really looking to be a lane goalie on the Sivir,
though, right? Like, so I do think they need some sort of hard engage.
Yeah.
AOE engage against this sort of team, I do think works well. When you're looking at Taliyah, Seraphine, Senna, if you're able to actually connect on any of those, they are fairly squishy. So it is going to be Gwen as the answer to Bwipo's Aatrox, and we are going to see where everything is going to line up. I do think Seraphine farming bot makes the most sense. FBI playing that kind of fasting Senna, as you said. Abbeddage should take that Taliyah mid. And I think this all does make a lot of sense. You can play with the Taliyah towards the side lane here, try to enable Ssumday, try to get him ahead. He is that fifth pick on red side, so you do need that counter pick to really kind of work out for them. Aatrox can be pretty scary, I think, in the earlier stages, though. Gonna have to have good use of that Hallowed Mist from Gwen to be able to stay outside of the range, kind of where Aatrox wants to get in and hit you with that Q, but he still needs to be inside the circle. So if you kind of play around the edge of it, you can still immune a lot of that damage.
It's gonna is up 200 Thieves from Thieves themselves, still holding on to that spot at 13-4. A first-round playoff bye is up for grabs, and as Jat said, we are likely to see the teams battle back and forth several times in the late season and postseason itself. As we get onto the Rift, indeed the Ghost Flash for Sivir. Kiting gonna be there. And I mean, there is no targeted lockdown, right? There's no Vi who's guaranteeing you're there.
Yeah.
You can just try to outrun Closer, outrun the Gwen, and just dodge away from the Seraphine Charm.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Spell Shield, the timing on that is going to be really, really important. You can't early Spell Shield as Sivir when you're playing into Wukong. If you early Spell Shield, you're going to get the E or the Q, right? You have to actually wait until, you know, the ulti is going to come through, which is a little bit of a mind game because Wukong can just ER. You can EQR to try to answer the Spell Shield. So you have to kind of guess a little bit on the timing there, but it is possible. And if you can actually immune that knock-up and have your Ghost active and your ult active, sometimes you can kite it out of range of the next activation of that ult, which can be very, very big. So going to be looking for him to do that. Of course, the Seraphine ulti, that's an easy Spell Shield. Should be able to get that every single time unless you're already kind of locked down there. So going to have to watch out for Hansama and see how he can perform in this one.
They photoshopped the player photos. You got the webcam for FBI and Co. and Hansama. Bjergsen, I guess his webcam's not working. I don't know what's going on. They put a mustache on the photo. LCS production, let's go. That is the best thing I've seen all day. And that's high praise. Been talking with Azael for like the last 4 hours.
Oh, wow. I don't know if that's blame on me or praise or both.
I like hanging out with you. You're a great dude.
I'm trying to think through how I'm getting roasted here.
You're not.
But
I'm being positive today.
That doesn't happen. I don't believe you. Bwipo looking to zone out Ssumday here. This is a little bit awkward. You just want the Q to expire as Ssumday, obviously, before you walk in. So he's just waiting for the Q2. Q3, you're not really worried about. Ssumday did get in range for the melee XP there, so he's not going to be too concerned. But still, it's a nice little play from Bwipo because it does mean he denies the gold from 2 melee minions.
42.
And so much of playing Aatrox into melee matchups is actually how you use your Q. It's about zoning them off CS. It's about anticipating when they're going to step forward for a last hit and actually pre-placing your Q there, because then even if you don't hit it, if they sidestep back, then you're denying a CS, right? And it's these little incremental advantages you can get. And that's really so much about what these Aatrox matches are. But you do have to be careful, especially in the early game, pre-CDR. The cooldowns are very long. So anytime your Q is down, you have to back up and really respect the ability of Gwen to have these superior trades, because if you get too close, he's going to look for the jump forward, you know, for the snip and the skip and slash, and really try to punish you on those. So, so far it's going to be Ssumday having the push as expected. You can see mid lane, really good trades from Bjergsen on Abbeddage.
Another soldier there as well, so Abbeddage going to be under 200 HP.
Another.
They're hot. 110 health left. Does have some potioning going on. Corrosive going through now.
Yeah, all charges are already used though.
Yeah.
So he is way down and no more running. So he's actually gonna have to TP back already.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rough. He has 450 gold, so at least he has a buy. It would have been much worse if he didn't CS as well as he did. Santorin though, this is a repeat of the last time he played Skarner. It was actually down towards bot lane. Heavy trading, they're gonna look for the dive.
They have somebody heal, burns it now onto the Amumu. They go, good damage. They get Seraphine. First blood is in, well engaged, well claimed. 400 gold into Hansama.
Man, Santorin is the king of these unexpected paths. This guy plays these champions where you're thinking, all right, all he's going to do is full clear. Skarner, Trundle, all these champions that are not known for the early ganks, and he just gets down there and he makes them happen with creative pathing and just the fact that it's so unexpected. Everyone's thinking, all right, of course he's going to go down towards Krugs, but he goes for this wraparound, skips Krugs, walks in behind. CoreJJ, really nice setup. The bandage toss into the boomerang blade guarantees you land both sides of that from Hansama, so they get him really lit up. And then the bandage toss set up there, follow up with the E-stun through from Santorin. They tag it up perfectly, and Hansama gets first blood. That was picture perfect from TL.
And one thing I think we didn't see initially was they actually got Huhi's flash much earlier on. It was down for that play, because between the Amumu stun and the Skarner stun, there was time to flash, get a range, and stay alive, or at least force Santorin to tower dive with the flash himself. So that was burned. I think I missed it earlier on in lane, though, and that meant, oh yeah, we can just hard target Seraphine. She's definitely going to die. She is literally those zero summoners. Ignite, you know, block and heal, you know, that all went really well. So kudos to TL.
Perfect.
Pull him to the right spot. I mean, you know, really, really good stuff at TL's early game is, yeah, they get a sub 4-minute first blood.
And again, that's all the potion charges down from Abbeddage. Bjergsen is clapping in the trades in this 1v1 for now. And without TP, you got to go back to base. He could die.
Flash! Yep, flash or flash. Q auto would kill him every single time. He's going to stay alive right now, but TP, of course, is down.
And he loses a full wave off this, right? You're going to have this instantly pushed out by Bjergsen, so this will be +6 in the CS department there. Will lose that experience. If you stay around, you're probably going to die, so he does have to go back to base. Bjergsen trading so aggressively and really getting the better of Abbeddage, and that is those potion nerfs kind of in action, right? In some of these situations, you could hang out, stay around a little bit longer because you have that little bit of safety the extra potions gave you.
Ultimately, corrosive actually ends up being the most nerfed of all the potion options. That if you compare to like Doran's Ring, yeah, he'll live. If you compare to like Doran's Ring plus potion, there's more health on Doran's Ring potion than there is on corrupting. Like it got hit really hard, and you can see he's just like out of health way too fast here.
And he like with this build, which is very common on Taliyah, like it's a very mana-hungry champion, so people often go corrupting and then they go straight into tier, you know, more for that kind of mana early on, but it means 0 health, 0 defensive stats, purchase stuff, and 0 AP. So you don't have a lot of kill threat. You're mostly just playing to farm, which kind of allows your opponent to go right at you. You know, Doran's Ring plus double Amp Tome, like you have so much more AP just in the early game, you know, than your opponent does, right? That's an extra 55 AP just purchased up that your opponent doesn't have. So Bjergsen's gonna look to take these trades very aggressively and try to continue bullying. And now that he is 6 and Abbeddage has no flash, that's why CoreJJ and Santorin are in the area. Because if he steps too far forward, he can get scooped in and it's an easy kill. And likewise, that's why Abbeddage is actually just waiting at the tower. He's not going to actually risk trading anymore because down flash, he knows he's an easy kill.
You can see Bjergsen, still trying to get a bit done. The minion gets shoved back, and he will do his very best to not be tower diveable. Level 6, not exactly a combat ult for Taliyah, so that's actually a power spike with one move. It's even worse for you. Not much you can do. Maybe gets the controller out of lane, but so far, not happening. CoreJJ covering to make sure Santorin gets his one, and then tries again, lands the first stun. Splash is up for FBI. When's next stun coming across? Gonna land both, and he just flashes late! He flashes late! You're in range, and CoreJJ just locks him down on the kill on the board for Hansama.
Man, Core cannot miss today. He is hitting every single bandit touch. Every time we pan down on that bot lane, he is setting it up. He landed one to chunk them low before that tower dive. In goes Bjergsen. Looking for the trade there. Nice sidestep on the seismic shove, but again, landing back-to-back ones. And FBI invested all his early gold in Swifty Boots. That's about sidestepping these skill shots. That's about the avoidance. Wasn't able to do it. Then the late flash comes through. He goes down anyway. Both the kills onto Hansama here is such a problem. It's going to be a tough game now down in that bot lane. You can already see it's the 2 kills plus 14 CS in the advantage. So that's about 1K now over Huhi, who is that farming member. You know, it's even more painful that he's dying. He's not the support. He's the guy that's supposed to be getting that CS. And excuse me, I said Huhi, but it was FBI that bought the Swifty Boots.
Sure, no, and you know, didn't dodge into the skill shots there. So a rough look, but we'll see if we can keep getting souls online. We are getting the blue buff grabbed by Santorin, and he's going to lose his fire. So River team fight going to be a little bit harder for him without being able to recapture that one. And it is instantly the Herald attempt right now. Larden. Epic Monsters drop 2 souls. That'll help Senna a little bit if they get this one claimed, but does Santorin have the ability to fight?
I don't think so. I mean, they're hovering around, but Sivir's bot, right? And that's your richest member, so this would be a risky fight. They are looking for it, though.
Comes in. Ssumday building a lot of space, though, and they're going to push him right back out. So pop the eye. CoreJJ says, yeah, we don't have to play. But enough time was bought that guess what? Bot lane has taken a bunch of damage. Plate number 2, claimed by Sivir.
This is actually so reminiscent of the last Skarner game that he did play. They even had this similar setup where they're hovering around, they're threatening, and they're trying to force that extra member from 100 Thieves to come up, because they're saying, if your 5th member isn't here, we're going to win the 4v4, right? So they actually force Huhi to walk all the way up, which means it's so much free time in the bot lane for Hansama. And what did that cost them? Bwipo's ult? Who cares, right? You know, that's plates going down, that's more farm loss. It's now a 20 CS advantage there, and Abbeddage has to actually TP to answer down on that bot side. So it's really, really smart play. If you can walk that fine line where you're threatening the contest but not fully committing to it and giving them the engage, because the hard engage is not great on the 100 Thieves side, so they're just kind of dancing around that edge and really playing it well.
Level 5 Wukong, level 5 Seraphine. Not a team fight start. That's not how it's going to go for you. Maybe you could have tried some wall stuff with Abbeddage, but yeah, it looked pretty good. So as the wave goes down, he will get his little scraps of farm, but 100 Thieves able to keep playing for objectives as everything timed out. Okay, Hansama needs to go recall, buy some items. It is going to be back-to-back objectives now. Again, a ton of gold is earned. Sivir's off to the races. She's probably got 1,000 gold away at this point from finishing Kraken Slayer, which is really quite nice, on pace for like 12 minutes. But we can see a dragon has been claimed quickly. 100 Thieves have objectives to their name.
And this is such a Bwipo thing, you know, going for the lethality build here, you know, going Eclipse. In pro play, we mostly do see Gore Drinker. Eclipse is really common in solo queue these days. It is that more aggressive style, but you think back to when everyone was going Shield Bow Graves, Bwipo was going for the lethality build, right? He does prefer those more aggressive options, and he is one of the players that I think best tailors his playstyle to fit his item builds. right? He is going to be looking for that opportunity to flash in on one of these squishy members and really delete them with the lethality style Aatrox. So it'll be exciting to see if he can really make that work, because it is high risk, high reward.
Yeah, really, really high order if it lands, though. Worth noting, actually, there is even a little bit pushing towards Gordon in this game. The Wukong clone counts as a champion. We actually saw that in Bwipo's, what was it, Olaf game? His set game, where he actually just 1v2 the top lane dive, and it's like, he Gordon got 3 champions in a 1v2 because it was a Wukong clone. I'm not saying it's the wrong build. I'm just saying, right, this is one of the games where there even is some extra value in Gordon.
There is. You know, for me, at least, when I'm thinking of it, at least from a solo queue perspective, I generally say if there's 3 melee, I go Gordon. If there's not, I don't. Yeah. Is how I look at it on a lot of these champions that have the option of going Gordon. Because when there's, 3+, it's so consistent that you can get a multi-man Gordon, and then the value is really, really high. In this game, it's going to be a lot less consistent that you can always hit that. Like, sure, the clone, there's that potential, but usually the clones use it as that engage tool, and it's going to be out of your range. Seraphine, Senna, as well as the Taliyah are probably not going to be stacked on top, but it is, going to be really interesting to see how this Eclipse does pay off for him, because it's already completed, and that's very, very fast.
Yeah, and mid lane under pressure yet again. And we'll see if we get a climactic Bwipo fight. On the bottom river, we got the chance that a Sun hits the backline ulti on as well. Huge damage to the Senna, and she almost dies and will. FBI is gone. Now the next one, another stun's gonna land. CoreJJ keeps setting up all these team fights. The reinforcements have arrived. You've got Closer jumping over the wall. Where's he gonna go for the rest of it? His ulti's down, his flash is down, and he cannot find the kill. He flashes to get nothing done. And here is Bjergsen, another stun for CoreJJ. Every man he stuns dies. Again, it was topside. Ssumday just barely lives.
Oh, wait, he's looking to threaten him off this. He wants to at least zone him off. These minions. Can Bwipo find the auto? Does he have the passive? No.
Stab dash out.
Yeah, that was close though. Does at the very least. Yeah, it was an 11-minute clip, so very, very fast. I mean, he skipped his boosts, right? Which is really rare in pro play, but it's saying no, it's not actually going to be about the move speed in this. It's going to be a straight up scrapping. And it gives him that pressure, which means, yes, he doesn't get the kill, but he got 2 plates. That's a kill in and of itself. Plus, he's up 24 CS, and Ssumday had counterpick. So this is looking really good for Bwipo. It's looking really good for TL everywhere else. Bjergsen's out trading in mid lane. Top lane is being won by Bwipo. Santorin's pulling off more ganks, and Hansama has 3 kills. So it's all TL thus far, and they are looking really good early on to potentially force that tiebreaker.
Dynamic duo. I'm giving all the credit to Santorin and CoreJJ. Core's landed every stun. Santorin's been there for the follow-up every single time. The 2 of them have just set these up on a silver platter.
I mean, Core has just made the Q look point click, right? Like, he is hitting everything. He lands that multi-man ultimate, and then look at the Sivir AoE. FBI and Huhi are lined up for the double boomerang blade hit on both them. The ricochets are coming through, and then the angle just not there for Abbeddage. Everything is missing. They both flash out. Closer goes in. Uses that last little bit of damage, but can't finish Hans, and then he has no way out. And Core, of course, hits another one there to donate that kill over to Bjergsen. It's looking so good for TL, really pushing the pace. They pick scaling picks, but it's like, it's not the way that they're playing it. They're not playing just a wave clear and go slow, right? Like, they're setting up tower dives with a Sivir bot lane and a Skarner jungle. They're trading aggressively with the Azir in the mid lane. They're really looking to push the pace and get the most that they can out of these matchups.
Facial hair is just absurdly overpowered. I mean, they are slapping right now. Well done to Team Liquid, looking at 13th win. 3,500 gold up. Plates drop now. I was late, sorry.
He tried.
Yeah, but we crest into what I think considers mid-game. Now the turrets are squishy, right? Now they're really easy to knock down. Any lane with pressure, bam, more control opened up, more opened up, and you can keep going to the races here. You can see, 3 people top of the chart on FTX Total Gold. Santorin's out farming half the laners. He's ahead of Ssumday and Huhi.
I mean, Hans and Huhi, that's the comparison. Those are the bot lane farmers, right?
Yikes.
Like, it is rough. It is really, really rough. Hans is so far ahead, and you can see that reflected in the item completions as well. Anywhere that Hans is, you are not really wanting to fight unless you think you can 100 to 0 this Sivir. He is going to shred you. 100 Thieves are circling here, but look at Core threatening the engage.
And when they're going to find it, Charm going to land it at 2. Pretty good start here. Wukong open.
Core in the back line.
Won't be enough. Core stuns the back limit. No one else can be there. Skarner's already gone. But here comes the widest of men in the top lane. Pushed out already. Huhi low flash to safety. Bjergsen still wants it. FBI flashes to get away. May still do so. As the summoners get burned back and forth, it is a 1-0. The Skarner falls.
Yeah, 1 for 0, and 100 Thieves got the Herald, so that is a big fight for them. They will lose this mid lane tier 1 very, very likely, so will be some costs associated with it, but still, all things considered, from down 3-4K, that is a pretty well fought team fight. You have to give some credit to Abbeddage, who, though he could not actually take down the Sivir, does zone the Sivir out very, very heavily. It's all about core on this initiation. Right from there, Hex Flash over, doesn't land the first Q, but then the second into the backline, catches these two here. But then watch Abbeddage coming in from the side. He is keeping Hans out of the fight. If Hans could have actually got up into the backline to access those carries, he would have been able to finish them off if he could follow that up like that fight we saw on the bot side. But Abbeddage just pushes the Sivir out, keeps that really, really rich member out of that team fight. Remember, 6,000 plus gold is on the Sivir. So if he's not actually participating in the team fight, it doesn't matter if Abbeddage isn't either, because he is worth so much less.
Yeah, so he's 6,900 gold to 5,300 gold. Went exactly 1 for 1. Like, I stole you out, we're both piecing.
Exactly.
Congratulations, you just nullified the entire gold lead by yourself. Great ulti, well played. One of the best 0-0-0 Chile performances I've seen in that team fight. And we'll see what happens to Herald, because by the way, Ssumday gets to answer a turret. So 100 Thieves, yeah, the fights have looked kind of rough, but they are certainly holding on.
They absolutely are, right? And Gwen, you do expect to eventually outscale in that side lane against the Aatrox. Gwen scales incredibly well, so that is always going to be a threat. And the fact that you do have that Gwen who can buy some time, because if Gwen can start threatening solo kills, can threaten that 1v1 in the side lane, that can open up the map tremendously. Like, you are playing with Taliyah, so Bwipo will have to play with respect unless they have vision. TL, of course, is really, really strong, with their vision game. You can see that they've secured a lot of vision in this section of the map. A lot of deep wards over there to try to cover in case Bwipo is playing down towards that bot side. Thus far, though, 100 Thieves have kept them out of their top side jungle, which is going to be something that's pretty important for them. They need to have access to at least one of those quadrants to kind of safely farm.
The turret nearly going down, and as turrets do fall, you get a little more space to maybe drop some wards and make you all feel good about themselves, but obviously the reverse can also be true. As you lose, waves for vision, they're not meeting nearly as far up to track movements and whatnot. You're just going to keep going for turret damage when you can. Always want to get multiple soldiers down. When you hit 3, you get an attack speed buff. Even if you're just autoing a turret with your own auto attacks, if soldiers can't do it, you get 3 down. That can, of course, make it hard to escape if you're missing the right cooldowns, but able to get the auto attacks in, and it will be another turret falling, as Bjergsen claims the 3rd and final outer turret for Team Liquid, and it makes this map just that little bit smaller, a little bit more claustrophobic for 100 Thieves, making it that much more difficult to ward because minions will not as often do it for you. Bot wave pushed out. Bwipo should still feel comfortable on that side lane. 28 CS up on his opponent.
Yep, looking very, very good. Ssumday not as far behind as you would think because he got the kill and because he got solo gold on that top lane tower. So keeping it pretty close in that 1v1, but it's really about mid and bot. Those are the monumental advantages that TL does have. Bjergsen way ahead of Abbeddage. Hans way ahead of Huhi. That's the comparison you have to make, obviously not to FBI because he is that fasting Senna. And he has 2 items right as the first item is completed there for Huhi. So that is definitely frightening. And as long as TL can actually buy space for FBI, for Hans Sama, he can run over this 100 Thieves bot lane and the rest of their team.
Huge fan of this build. I also love it because it power specs kind of cheaply. You have pretty inexpensive items. Any Zeal upgrade, right? Much cheaper than going for something like an LDR or Seraphs, or Cyrildas rather. So you can kind of get to your 3rd item a bit sooner, which can be nice. You save about a minute. 400 gold per minute. Pretty average for a pro player. And now we're going to see the next attempt at the bottom lane. The flash in. There's a smite, and he's going to stop, keep him stuck, butt twist at the very end. And they're going to look for the rest of this one on a Ssumday. Trying to get out, but the sun's going to land yet again. And it's going to be Hans Sama again, showing up in time for his 4th kill.
Yeah, the quick Senna ult comes through, and you think maybe, just maybe, he can get out, but Hans is there, and all he does is buy time to give it over to the TL carry, unfortunately for him. Time to prevent the heist. Oh, man. It's definitely been a really TL favorite game thus far. The flex pick's not really working out. A lot of pressure down towards bot, a lot of pressure in through mid. Has meant very, very good things for TL. And if you keep Ssumday down, I think that's kind of the last main win condition for the 100 Thieves side, because their team fighting is not going to scale as well. I don't think, when you're looking over at Azir and Sivir, the amount of damage, the amount of range that this team does have is going to be very, very difficult to deal with. As long as you can absorb that initial engage from 100 Thieves, things should look good for TL. But they want to make sure that Ssumday is not free firing in those side lanes, not free farming, not being able to create any sort of an advantage against Bwipo. who at this point at least is very far ahead. Black Cleaver now completed, so he has a ton of CDR. And Ssumday's very far away from a second item here.
We'll have to go learn from that turret. 250 into the coffers of 100 Thieves, but not able to spend it yet as the teleports come back around. Now Santorin does not have his flash for this team fight. Maybe they find the engage regardless, as 100 Thieves clearly willing to fight for the third Drake of the game, split 1-1 so far. Infernal scales incredibly well and has plenty of good uses on both teams. We'll see right now as he spires flame. Huge boost for Santorin.
Oh, Core's looking for the flank here. He's going to wrap around on FBI and Huhi.
He's got ult. What's going to land? First flash comes in. Will he flash follow? Maybe soon with the Sivir. They're going to find the charm on it too. It catches Skarner. Will it be enough though? Wall coming down though. Maybe that buys a lot of time here as CoreJJ has low burn in Zonias. But here comes the re-engage. Looks pretty good. And they'll already shut down. A 1-for-1. Top laner for support though. Not the best trade. And here comes a flash in. Shoves back one. But Abbeddage is going to be safe for now. Wukong gets the knock of a shove back. And the shutdown comes in. The 1-2 punch from mid-jungle. And Bwipo cannot quite get it done. He'll drop as well. Closer stays alive. And Team Liquid could not with a gigantic gold leap on a team fight victory.
That it couldn't do it. 100 Thieves able to survive in this fight. Kiting back, getting so much damage out. The multiple rounds of heals and shields coming out there were massive. And then Bjergsen just throwing himself in the backline, trying to look for the big play, but he has no stopwatch. He has nothing defensive there. So he ends up going down. 100 Thieves out teamfight TL, take the second dragon, and keep their hopes alive in this game.
Really beautiful. Watch this one again as the engage. Yeah, they're just trying to kite CoreJJ, the early flash required, and they just keep cutting out too well. This charm actually buys a lot of time as well.
Yeah, the charm bought a lot of time there onto Bwipo, and then Abbeddage coming in here. The ulti, I'm not sure what happened there. Was that a double tap, an interruption?
Yeah, he hopped off.
Either way, I guess hopped off early. The suppression comes down onto Ssumday, but FBI and Huhi have been getting so much damage out that it is a trade of kills, and then Bjergsen flying into the back line. Huhi, they're able to flash out, though not catching both of them. Bjergsen gets taken out in the return. And then, despite Bwipo getting a ton of damage down, he's not able to finish anyone off. He falls down. Hansama forced back as that seismic chop was coming through. He's able to spell shield it and back it up. I mean, he put out a tremendous amount of damage, but just couldn't finish anyone off. Senna healing and Seraphine shielding meant so much in that team fight.
And that's the thing with Sivir, right? Like, your numbers are going to be high, but it's because they're spread out, hitting everyone. Like, 500 damage on Senna doesn't matter if Senna doesn't die. And you multiply that by 4 backliners, like, congratulations, you did inconsequential damage that eventually was sealed and shielded, and obviously they, got to keep moving up on the map. So 2-1 in Drake's, and 100 Thieves closed the gap.
And 100 Thieves just played that out so damn well. I can see why TL felt like, hey, we are way stronger. We have the double item completions. Our opponents did not have it at that point, so they're just looking to hard force. So I totally see that perspective, but I also think they could have probably just played it out a little bit more slowly and utilized the gold on Bjergsen and Hans to really kind of grind that fight out. We'll be interested to see if we get some heal cut bought up here, to help deal with the healing from Seraphine as well as Senna. Sivir is someone that can apply that AoE very, very well with the Ricochet, so I think it is worth the pit stop, but for now it looks like he's going towards IE, has the stopwatch in.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the text executioners is deal physical damage, apply grievous wounds.
Yep.
And yeah, guess what? That is absolutely infinite here for Hansama. So I do think this is one of the things he should have bought. It would have made a difference. There's plenty of shielding, not just heals, sure, but it would have cut things down and probably been a worthwhile buy. I think that is a small misstep, but we haven't played towards the top side now. Abbeddage does have flash, but will it even matter? I feel like you're never getting away. He burns. Wait, you're flashing away from a chem tank Skarner. Not sure that's given you, but Bjergsen's going to find the kill.
I think he was trying to flash to create space to ult, but he's not able to do it. He goes down, gives up the flash for free, and now TL are onto the bear, and it is going to be a 4v5. Somebody has TP, so he is going to join, but look at Core. They're going to turn on the TP.
They're going to try. Will they find the engage? That was the question. They're not going to get the ulti. Somebody jumps away in time. Bwipo has the stopwatch. Shields are on, but is there a team fight? Santorin, no ulti. So Closer will jump the wall, saves his W. Charm on a 2. Looks pretty good. Buys a lot of time. That should be it. Santorin actually dying. Just locked in place. Seraphine by herself makes it happen. And the next one is soon. Bjergsen low, a double kill. Seraphine's popping off. They trade one back, though. Now still Hansama is safe. But what can he really hit? The Ricochet back on cooldown. Bwipo slowed. Bwipo falls. 100 Thieves. 4 versus 5. Don't even need a mid laner. They've got one in the bot, and they're going for Baron.
100 Thieves are going off in these team fights. They are crushing through TL. Gold lead be damned. They 4v5 them. Ssumday immunes the CoreJJ ultimate. TL tries to chase in, tries to force there, And Huhi is just slaughtering them in these chases, getting so much damage. Such good charms out with the Seraphine. The gold lead is gone. The Baron gonna be on everyone. They're waiting for Ssumday so he can split push with it as well. 100 Thieves, incredible team fighting, is clawing them back into this game.
That is incredibly impressive now. We got the double item spike in for Huhi, Leandry, Seraph. That's gonna feel great as they cash in off the Baron. Watch that. Again, 4v5.
It's all about the TP. The TP comes in, and TL are very clearly looking to turn. They pop Sivir ulti, they all come in, but Ssumday, WE out of range, Gwen is immune, and then on the other side, Bwipo is isolated. They turn around onto Bwipo, uses the stopwatch, but he's getting burst down. And look at the position here. As everyone funnels forward into this area, they're kiting back, and they have this concave right here, which is so beautifully set up by 100 Thieves. The two-man charm comes through from Huhi, and as everyone tries to walk up, they just can't get in. The slow is tagged onto Bjergsen by Huhi, and then he's able to finish him off with the passive autos or the Leandry burn there. Ssumday does go down, but CoreJJ gives up his life to be able to finish off that kill. And then again, the slows in through onto Bwipo. These extended team fights are going so heavily in the favor of 100 Thieves, and their positioning has been incredible. They just have such a good understanding of how to play this out that TL are not getting to use the gold leads on their mid and their bot, and now they have the inside track again here. Abbeddage is set up to try to drop the Taliyah wall right here. It's going to come through and block him out.
And you have to give it right. Maybe Bwipo can look for something kind of cheeky. Q will reach over the wall. Not going to get what he wants, and this will be a clean smite. Will this will be a team fight? Looking for it now.
Bwipo's looking to flank.
Keep in mind, Santorin can always pull somebody. Abbeddage could be a target. He's flashless. Burns heal from move speed. Several pop. They don't find the fight.
Yeah, 100 Thieves just want to leave. You just want to actually push out and be able to respond. They can actually go for bot, kick this tower, and then use the Baron-empowered recall to defend. So I think this is actually really nice. They grab this tower. They probably will lose their tier 2. They need to start basing, though. You don't want to be giving up your inhibitor tower or anything like that. So really intelligent exit, going down towards bot, towards the vision that they had already placed, so they know that that is going to be a safe area. They're able to secure that with really good ulti coming in through from Abbeddage into a pause. But man, this game is really heating up. 9-8. We're dead even in gold. 100 Thieves are on soul point at this time now. They have really turned around this game from what looked like it was going to be a TL stomp, right? Like, they crushed the early game. All 3 lanes winning, jungle getting more done. 100 Thieves just didn't care. They just straight up out-team fought TL at every turn in this one.
And the thing is, like, there's still a 6-0 Sivir in this game. Like, it's like, oh yeah, they're stomping, and it's also all on Sivir. It's like, oh yeah, we have a Flame Horizon on Sejuani, guys. It's like, no, you have a fed Sivir. Like, that's absurd. But it turns out that you look at the comp play out, and it's like, look, your single target pick is amazing, right? Yeah. You chem tank in, you're gonna one-shot play with Skarner ult. Okay, cool. Now you're walking really fast at a Seraphine. It's like, well, she's gonna charm your entire team into a stun, they're bound to hit some damage on you at that point, right? Like, everything's gonna pile in, and that's what happened, I think, in all these fights where the charm sets up someone getting one shot. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm really interested to see, is TL going to try to adjust how they're playing out these fights, right? Are they going to take that one kill with the Skarner and then back off and go to an objective, right? Because they're getting so punished when they're actually chasing in on this. Bjergsen reported some FPS issues, so he just restarted his client really, really quick. Okay. Both teams have said they're ready in chat, so I think we're going to be getting back into it very quickly. But yeah, I mean, it's been going 100 Thieves' way for sure these last couple of fights. But your point about the Sivir is a really good one, because we have to remember, one team fight changes the game completely, right? And Han Sama, if he can get that team fight, if he can find that access, he can still completely run them over. He's on IE now, and he has Last Whisper on top, so 3.5 items. The gold lead between the bot laners is still monumental. He's at 13.3K. The richest person on the other side for 100 Thieves is just over 10K, right? So he is a full item up on the richest member, who is Abbeddage. And that means if he can get that perfect team fight, they can still win and can close out this game.
Yeah.
TL have just got to really make sure that they're calming down. They're talking about their win conditions. What do we need to change? How do we play out these team fights? Because 100 Thieves has had a better understanding of these last couple 5 guys.
Worth noting, though, no QSS tax paid yet on 100 Thieves. Every single member can stopwatch to buy 2 seconds, but otherwise, you are getting pulled if they want you. And that might be dangerous. We got the push with the top side. Baron buff still on. Just 1,000 gold on the Red Bull Baron power play. Keep in mind, back at 1,600, but yeah, mid lane tier 2 was traded for a bot outer, which is worth a bit more gold, and here we are.
And the QSS items aren't actually buffed on this patch, right?
Correct.
They're buffed on the next patch, and On 12-14 and before, QSS was basically a dead item. Like, no one was going that. Everyone had moved so heavily when they're going towards MR items for, you know, Ma and Wit's End and all these things. Santorin got asked in his interview, you know, why specifically the Skarner? Why is Skarner good now? He said, because no one buys QSS, right? Like, QSS sucks.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you're not willing to actually kind of hurt your itemization to go towards it, then you are always going to have to deal with that threat. We'll see, though. TL hunting here for Ssumday. He is very far up. Can he escape?
He's going to pop his own ghost. Will he get it in time? There's the yoink. They're going to pull him right back into the circle, but he buys a bit of time. Still gets one.
Flash ulti.
Hits two. It's going to set up on Amumu. Stopwatch burns for a minute. Will there be another team fight, though? As close as starts it up. Support is down. Trade back in nearly. Knocks down Bjergsen, but Sivir is attacking. But she cannot find her targets. No one is dead. Thousands of damage dealt, but not to any kills. A 1-for-1 top. Actually, 1-for-2. They did get Bjergsen, didn't see, but he burned down at the bottom side. So 2 for 100 Thieves again. Yeah. Skarner finds the engage, 100 Thieves find the fight.
And I love that there was no hesitation on that. The Senna ult comes through. Ssumday was always going to go down. Huhi just flashes in, full confidence, nails the ulti again. Bjergsen TP's in, and it was a perfectly timed seismic shove, I believe, from Abbeddage right as Bjergsen arrived. So the initial kill is great, but the TP response from Abbeddage was super, super fast. The flash ulti here from Huhi. Now watch as Bjergsen TP's in right here. Watch the seismic shove coming down right as he arrives. There is the E, and there is the knock up into the seismic shove. Bjergsen bursts down immediately, has to flash and try to get out of there, and did burn down in the other side of the fight to the Liandry's. So, you know, TP's in, flashes, dies immediately. Hans getting out a lot of damage again, but he's forced to flash as well with his spell shield down. Didn't have an answer for that seismic shove that was coming through. He's still deathless, but it's 100 Thieves that are getting the lockdowns, getting those critical kills. They're just not really able to take over in these fights, and Hans has a stopwatch, so he's not going to be going for any heal cut. It is Bjergsen who is going to be purchasing.
Oh, they hit it on Bjergsen, but there's no engage really to be had. He'll be stunned up. He's shoved.
in.
But you can see the CC combo. That was off of one charm. Everything else was guaranteed delayed, and he has 2% health left.
But man, credit to 100 Thieves. Look at the communication. There's no panic. Ssumday doesn't even answer the TP. They don't go forward. They hit the charm. They say, we got TP, back it up. And Ssumday now has TP advantage. Bjergsen uses TP last fight. Bwipo uses TP now. So now 100 Thieves can play towards, you know, Dragon or Baron, play side lane as well. And if TL answers with 5, you just keep pushing with Gwen. If they answer with 4 and someone goes to side wave, you TP Gwen in and you take a 5v4 and you win the fight. So 100 Thieves really showing a lot of restraint there. It's great play from them all around. Gwen just needs to hard shove this wave, and the 4-man squad needs to not get picked. They need to play this slowly. 100 Thieves has got to be careful here until Gwen has pressure on that tier 2 bot.
Sivir ult's down. They don't have an easy go button. Oh my gosh, Bwipo. He's going to take so much damage here. Get the shields, get the heals, trying to stay alive. You're going to coming in more. Here comes the teleport. Out he goes for a second. CoreJJ finds a stopwatch, and here comes Ssumday. Will it happen now? Closer pulled in, 1-for-1. Jungle for support, and we try again now for Ssumday diving in for a bit more. Hansama is low. Hansama stopwatch.
The shutdown.
But there's no way he lives, right? He's got nothing up. Shutdown comes through to Abbeddage, and Bwipo's left alone, running towards his own side of the base. But you gotta find it. They're gonna get it. FBI is on a rampage. 100 Thieves wins another fight. Shut up the mid lane. Dragon Soul's in their eye.
Yeah, they're not gonna give up the Dragon here. Bjergsen and Santorin were heading towards it. They're gonna go down, grab that Dragon Soul. They got a massive shutdown there. Abbeddage is getting so fed now. I think that was probably a 1K off of Hansama. You have to assume that goes over there to Abbeddage. They grab the Soul. They're now 2.5K ahead, plus an enormous amount of stats from the Soul and all of the individual dragons. 100 Thieves well and truly in control, showing up big time in the last day of Super Week, the last day of the summer split. They are going off, looking to silence all doubters here as Bwipo, seismic shoved in from Abbeddage, goes in for the engage. Gets a lot of initial healing off, but the TP coming in here from Gwen. They do get that first kill. Santorin flashing in, pulling in the jungler here. Couldn't actually reach FBI. Does get stunned up. But as Ssumday arrives, he is just shredding through the team. The GA is popped. He's in onto Hansama. Hansama uses the stopwatch. Good timing to avoid the seismic shove, but there's no way out from there. It's 1K on Abbeddage. We're back to live, and they are on Baron here. TL have got to stop this.
Wall comes up, though. Still burning down the Baron right now. Bwipo alone who shall not nearby. Yeah, Santorin Does not have flash. He walks in! Oh, nearly gets it, but it's going to be claimed. 1 for nothing so far. Sivir has to get the shot. CoreJJ going to be attacked. Here comes the scoop to buy some time. And it's a triple kill already. 100 Thieves do not care about Azir. They do not care about Team Liquid. They care only about victory. House the Dragon Soul. The Infernal is on. The Baron is claimed. And soon, they will lay waste to Team Liquid's base as well.
Ssumday's just roasted him in these team fights. Getting into the backline. Onto Hans. Onto Bjergsen. Crushing through in these fights. 100 Thieves on the march here. For sure going to get at least an inhibitor. I think they may potentially push for the end here. 24 on Bjergsen. They have the Baron buff. They're positioning to do it. They want to close this out and secure their second seed.
And here we go. Still 15 seconds on respawns. Going for the first turret there. I mean, we're just now respawning. Ssumday builds a lot of time. Jumps right back out. Stays alive. 400 HP onto him. Santorin a bit low, but they're looking for the re-engage soon. Health bars get low. Bwipo trying to buy as much time as he can. Flash cannot get his target. And FBI is unstoppable.
Bjergsen in 2.
CoreJJ. Stopwatch buys those 2 seconds. Here comes Azir. Here comes Sivir. Will it be a miracle defense now? 3 versus 5. Seems unlikely. 100 Thieves may just give them the respect they deserve, though. Hansam would love to get some damage across.
Hans has his ulti, and he's going to pop it, but can they actually find a way in?
Only adds a little bit. You actually only hit 7 extra targets here, so he will not hit most of the team. Miniwave tanks most of the ricochet. And it is going to be the safe recall. Look, cash in. You made a ton of gold off of 2 consecutive team fight victories, plus the Baron gold, plus the turrets. See you soon.
The purchases are going to be big here on the 100 Thieves side for sure. But TL do live to fight another day. Hans almost on 6 items now. It's back to the previous fight. TL, no, it's desperation time, and that is why Core is just, I'm going. He flashes in, locks down that squishy Huhi. They're able to burst him out, but again, watch Ssumday as he just gets straight in onto Hans Sama and onto Bjergsen, hitting multiple members. Their closer flashes in as well. Bjergsen pops the Azir ulti to try to clear them away, but the skip and slash plus the snip, they're finishing him off. Able to take him down. The backline gets crushed. And now you just gotta hope, can Bjergsen get to 6 items? Can Onsama hit 6 items and maybe try to fight for the Elder? Something like that. You're gonna have a lot of gold flooding into your base here. It is 2.5 minutes about there until that Elder spawns, so they can just kind of chill out at this point. Hans does now pick up the Mortal Reminder, so he is truly on 6 items. And they have incredible wave clear, so there are ways they can stall out this game. So it's going to be up to 100 Thieves to continue pushing the pace. Try to close this one out.
7,000 gold. And looking now, 4,500 in the Red Bull Baron power play. Going to grow that one to over 5K now as this one's going to fall as well. Hugely in the lead. 100 Thieves will secure second seed. They will secure a first-round playoff bye. We will not have a tiebreaker from this match as a result, if that continues the way it has been. Every team fight been looking good. Santorin mostly only been finding the pulls on to close, but now that Wukong has a Guardian Angel. He's no longer the target. It's got flash in a second. I believe it's just coming up now. Santorin can look for Huhi, can look for FBI.
But Baron is gone, so they got to go for some sort of a dive if they want to actually try to siege this out. The waves are going to die instantly to Sivir and the Azir, but they're looking to try to get enough chunk down that they can threaten that dive. They're not going to find the angle, so TL will be able to hold on. And it's going to be about now the play for vision. Look at how many wards are in this section of the map from 100 Thieves. This is all their vision. There's nothing out on the map for TL. So TL have got to be able to reclaim vision. Santorin hanging around on the side here, trying to look for some sort of an angle, but I do think it's going to be the slow play and trying to reclaim vision in your own jungle, get ready for the Elder, and hope that you can pull something off there.
All right, 75 seconds, and we're going to see the Elder attacked. The other Drakes were made more tanky. I believe Elder was not, and that one is as relatively easy to kill as it has been over the last couple of years. We know it's a pretty... It's not a very dangerous objective. Like, Baron debuffs you, it shreds your armor MR. If it hits you, you do less damage to it, so you can't even solo it. But Elder Dragon, like, you have a lifesteal item, and you just chain shank that forever. QSS just getting grabbed now from the Senna, as Azael highlights. That was him. It was a 1-2 punch. Casting duo synergy on point. Good job.
Really the time to, you know, praise ourselves.
Yeah,
it's thinking about us.
Yeah, it's about us. 100 Thieves, you're doing okay, but, you know.
Really, I clicked something and Phreak talked about it.
That's impressive.
So really, who's more impressive?
I mean, we've seen some LCS games, you know. Someone clicks someone and you run the other way.
True.
Once in a while.
All right, 30 seconds on Elder here. 100 Thieves choking them out. I mean, look at the observer toggle. They see nothing, so they have to play through mid. You got to go get this wave, but you don't know if you're being wrapped around on. Bjergsen going to have to try to play it safe. He does have a stopwatch, so he can look for some sort of a big play, but it's so tough to actually slide in on the Azir when Taliyah can just drop the E, you get stunned up and you're instantly dead, right? So you've got to really pay respect to that. Bwipo was trying to push out these waves top, but he's got no flanking ward. It's not like he can really TP in. I think they're going to give up the Elder. Just based on the positioning, it's like, how do you even enter, right? Like, it's really, really rough.
Yeah.
If Whipple's not even here still, now he can TP in the back of the pit. They are going to look for it, but they're walled out.
Team fight walls out some. 5 seconds duration, but it's enough time. With how tanky Elder is, they can still fight with 10k health. Bwipo going for the flank play. Can he channel the Shy? Will it happen here?
Look at Closer, though. He's trying to flank as well.
Let me back that. Actually, look to play for frontline. Bwipo push out as Ssumday goes in and say, hey, we can kill this guy. He's up too much. It's illegal. And he's going to push him back for now. Team fight starts in. Charm. Knock up for Wukong. A flash safety. Hansama not able to auto just yet. Finally goes in. He's hitting for FBI. Goes for Huhi. Gets a bit dumb, but FBI's going to get the better of it. The shot comes in. Fortigal shutdown. A double kill for Abbeddage. And there is no chance now. Team Liquid only have the bruisers, and it's not going to be enough. Battered and bruised. Team Liquid going to chase in for this one. A 1v1 against Gwen. Will he win? Not today. As now Santorin is left alone, and whatever 100 Thieves want, they will take. They'll leave the Dragon. They'll go for the Nexus. A 40-minute back and forth. TL may have won the early game, but the early game is all they will take. 100 Thieves will claim the next, and 100 Thieves will claim second seed.
The 100 Thieves fans popping off in the crowd. The 100 Thieves chants erupt. What a comeback from 100 Thieves. The early game was all TL, but the team fights was really where 100 Thieves was shining today. They out-executed, they out-coordinated, and they outplayed in the 5v5s, winning team fight after team fight after team fight, taking the objectives, dominating the vision game, and not panicking when TL got that lead. It is so impressive how useless they made the Sivir look with such a massive gold lead. They just played around it so incredibly well.
Yep.
Diving in, zoning him out in multiple team fights. We saw that early team fight around Herald where Abbeddage is just ulting through and pushing the Sivir out, saying, I'm not going to be in the team fight, but neither are you, and we're going to win the 4v4. Multiple times kiting back and getting so much value out of the Senna Seraphine with multiple rounds of heals, multiple rounds of shields, always finding those value ultimates from Huhi. This is 100 Thieves that is so terrifying because if they're able to dominate you in the later stages of the game when TL has that incredible early game, like that is just terrifying because we know 100 Thieves can create early game advantages as well.
Of course.
So, man, this is a team that is really looking on form.
Yep.
Everyone's on notice now. They had a rough game on Friday, but a great game yesterday and an incredible, incredible note to end the split on here today.
And it means that we know much more of a playoff seeding now. We know EG took first. We now know 100 Thieves took second. Team Liquid locked into exactly third place. And the way it's going to work is they'll just play whoever gets sixth. But then EG picks their opponent, right?
Yep.
And the chances are pretty high that TL, I mean, they still look very good. They win that first round. And EG picks not TL. And we get it again in about 2 weeks. We're going to get those teams fighting in a best five because that game was a banger. And we're going to get like 4 more.
It was incredible, man. And the rivalry has really been heating up between these two orgs over the last, couple of years. Obviously, the first time 100 Thieves made finals, they got 3-0 by TL. Then they won by actually, 3-0ing TL. And it's been this back and forth. They've been meeting in the playoffs so many times. Feels like they're on a collision course again. And what a way to set it up.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So after the break, Huhi is going pro to pro with Huhi.